What's up, yeah? So I'm down here at Starbase, Texas, and I think it's a relevant time to kind of talk about this a little bit. I'm just watching over the whole thing. I'm thinking about trying to get a job here. I'm just kind of walking around, touring the area. I figured I'd come sit. They were doing a whole bunch of concrete and stuff. I've just been hanging out. Um, but I'm kind of like wrapping my head around this whole project right here, the Starbase Texas situation. I'm kind of, I really want to get in on the engineering team, and so I started thinking like really how I could do that. So I'm, trying to figure out the organization, and just figuring out where I could fit, personally, and so I'm just, observing, and just kind of contemplating, wrapping my head around this stuff a little bit. I got a friend. He's a engineer, and he works at a company that builds tools for fracking. And I've been a mechanic before. I've worked on some, decently sized sites. I actually worked for a random company. It wasn't that big. It was a small little site, actually, to be honest. But I've been around a few construction sites, so on and so forth. But anyway, I'm just, I'm observing, and I'm getting, I'm kind of, figuring this out a little bit. This whole situation. I'm thinking about the whole organizational structure from the top down. Elon, how he started the company, so on and so forth. Where he got funding from. How it's now currently set up with Elon being CEO, and he has a second-hand woman. I forget her name. And then there's a whole organizational structure. Like, somebody like contracted this company right here to build this parking lot they're building right now. I'm sure Elon had no direct involvement with that. He's doing bigger stuff. Like he's like, okay, here we're gonna design a big old rocket. Different people have their different places and so on and so forth. But overall, I think Elon is a very good manager of resource. I think he's taken the money that he raised from investors. I don't know all the investors. I know Google owns like 10% of SpaceX. And he's used it very well. I feel like I've seen other companies get a whole lot of money and use it very poorly. WeWork is a good example of that. Sometimes investors just throw money at stuff and it's crazy. And there's the whole business side of things with, I guess you could say, capital management. Whatever money you have, you need to use to, get your company up and running and get it ahead as much as possible. And you can only sell so much equity in your company anyway. And then there's debt, there's financing like that. Anyway, I'm just wrapping my head around the whole organizational situation here at Starbase, this facility. I'm trying to think where I can get in, maybe get an engineering job. And I'm thinking about how Elon, what he's already done in this world, what he's doing right now with the resource that he's been given from investors and his own money, which was, he took that money, he hired people, he got, I think it was the third or fourth rocket, finally went to orbit, and, he made it happen, and now here it is, and then he got new investors to come in, got more money, and he put that capital to work, you know what I mean? And that's what this is. This is the product of that. And then he also, obviously has a functional business model where he's sending things to orbit for various customers to keep this whole business running. He's not just, living off of that initial investment money. But, so yeah, it's a great organization. It's functional. It's a functional business. And I'm just thinking about the whole, structure of the whole business. And I appreciate Elon as a manager of capital, a manager of resource, really. I think he employs that resource very well. I think his goals, that his vision, for getting mankind to Mars for one, and then what he's doing with Tesla is revolutionizing not only the car industry, but eventually probably the energy industry with the solar city acquisition. And so what I see Elon being is a major manager of resource, and he's employing that resource in a positive way, including here at Starbase, Texas. Building starships so we can get to Mars, become a multiplanetary species, and then what he's doing with Tesla. You know, basically revolutionizing the car and energy industry, and that is very good for mankind. And I think out of all the things people could do in our world or in this economy on planet Earth with mankind, I think those are two very important things. Those are two very good things to apply resource to. And I think Elon's done a great job. One, having the ideas. Two, finding the funding. Three, managing competently. Four, to make it to this point, with a functional business model and having the whole organizational structure up and running, you know what I mean? And I think that is great. I think that is something that should be, easily, in my eyes, that should be commended, you know what I mean? Appreciated. I admire it. I'm like, okay, well, that's good business right there. I admire Elon as an entrepreneur. And this is the product of, I guess Elon's mastermind to begin with, and then obviously, everybody else that came in afterward. And, but that's competent management that's gotten us this far. And this is just probably the beginning, dude. Like, we're talking about, they're doing, what's it called? Starlink. They're shooting up all these satellites to, how to create an internet service for people like in the far reaches of the globe, and they're going to use that money to reinvest into more, rocket production, and eventually have a star fleet of rockets that hopefully can get mankind to Mars. I just think, personally, I'm just like, wow, like Elon's that's extremely competent business right there, I have to say, and extremely competent resource management because of just the overall goal of both Tesla and SpaceX. And my point with that is I think it can be looked at, and maybe it should be not only maybe mimicked. Like really here on Earth, we have an economy, and there's so many people, there's so much resource, including human resource. And that's another thing about these companies, for him to even start SpaceX and get it up and running, he had to, find competent people that are, either had experience or whatever. He had to find talent, human resource to help build rockets and eventually get them to orbit. That's a necessity. And, but I think he's employed that human resource quite well because we see what's going on. So my point is, here on Earth, in this economy, the current economy, the future economy, the past economy, any economy we'll ever have, there's a limited amount of resources, a limited amount of people, talent, physical, natural resource, you know what I mean? And I feel like optimally it should be managed and employed or deployed in positive ways. And you might even say the best way possible. I mean that could be a subjective thing. But my point is, yeah, there's a limited amount of resource, including human resource, including talent, that should be deployed optimally. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is a good example of that. This is like a microcosm of the macro in the global economy. This is a well-oiled machine, this business, SpaceX, and so is Tesla. And I think the goal of SpaceX and Tesla is most of the goals are good. You know what I mean? And I think this is ideal. You know what I mean? This is high functioning deployment of resource. You might say it's optimal. Or at least it's getting there. I think it's a good vision, a good mission, things that are going to help benefit mankind. Making mankind a multiplanetary species for one, two, revolutionizing the car and energy industries. And also, I mean, and also Tesla has the AI self-driving that's coming out, and that's going to revolutionize just the car industry even more than just making it electric. It's going to revolutionize the way, the whole lot of traffic in the world operates for the most part. But anyway, I think in large part, yes, it will do that. I think that software might be licensed, so on and so forth. And I mean, it's competent business management, competent resource management for, toward positive ends. And I think that is literally like what the whole entire human economy should be functioning like. It should be, resource deployment competently, efficiently, optimally toward positive ends, that benefit mankind. There's all types of stuff I see certain people doing. There's a lot of stuff people do. People are free to do what they want. They're individuals, but optimally, like these guys, I mean, they're just workers. They're working this job. They build, they lay parking lots, they lay concrete, whatever. If it wasn't for this whole organizational structure of this company, they would be doing that somewhere else or whatever. They're just making a paycheck. They're gonna go home. They're gonna chill, do whatever. Live their lives. I don't think they actually care too much about the ultimate goal of this company. They're just getting their paycheck. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people like that. So for those people, it's just a matter of, first these bigger organizations being created, that can then employ people in a positive way. I'm not going to lie. Those are laborers, somewhat skilled laborers, and it's human. They're human resource. It's skilled labor, human resource that's being employed right now because of this bigger level project of Starbase Texas being developed to, just SpaceX altogether, and the mission of SpaceX to make mankind a multiplanetary species. So that had to first come to be to then deploy this resource. You see what I'm saying? So, there are individuals, but a lot of these individuals, they're just looking for simple jobs. You know what I mean? There's individuals who have their own ideas, they want to do whatever they want with their lives. If that's the case, they'll do whatever they want to do with their lives. But at some point, and I've been in those same shoes, in that same position before, people are going to need money, so they're going to go look for a job. And if there's already a company up and running like this, then they will, offer their services for a paycheck. You see what I'm saying? And so it's really a matter of capital management. I'd rather just say resource management, and that includes human resource. It's extremely relevant. But I mean, I think this is it's like a microcosm of the macro of how the entire economy should be run. I think it's, again, competently managed resource, employed, deployed efficiently, managed well, and toward good ends. I think it's optimal. I just personally, that's what I say, and that's why I admire what Elon Musk does with SpaceX and with Tesla, what he's done so far, and what everybody at those companies have done. But really, I would say, is the mastermind who had the initial idea. I would say he's like the master, manager of the resource. He's directing that resource toward these goals of making mankind a multiplanetary species and trying to, I guess you could say, help create a sustainable situation here on planet Earth. And that all comes from his personal philosophy of trying to, help mankind, persist as a species as long as possible, to eventually maybe, figure out what we're even doing here existing. Elon's talked about how he came across the book Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and how the theme in there was just that, people weren't developed enough to ask the right questions to really figure out figure out, what the meaning of life in the universe is. So his idea is, okay, we got to prolong life, and that's literally, from what I understand, like what has compelled him to want to become a multiplanetary species and help, create a more sustainable situation here on planet Earth with Tesla, with the renewable energy and electric cars and whatnot. And I think that's good. I think this is hola. I think this is the that was the famous Mary who has photographed a lot of the progress here at Starbase, Texas. She's kind of a legend around these parts. So gotta pay my respects where respect is due. I don't know if she gets paid or anything. I don't know. She has a Michigan license plate. So I don't know. I don't know her personally, but she's definitely known around these parts. I've seen her out and about. But anyway, yeah, Elon. So Elon has a personal. I like his. Well, he has a personal, mission. He wants to prolong the lifespan of mankind, basically, and that's what this is about: becoming a multiplanetary species. In case something here happens on Earth, we'll already have a secondary colony on Mars to help create a sustainable situation here on Earth with Tesla, with the renewable energy, so on and so forth. And that's all driven by his personal philosophy. So yeah, that personal goal of prolonging the lifespan of mankind, as a collective species, has driven him to do all this. And I think that is a good goal that mankind should also mimic. Also, that's what I'm saying. The way that Elon has directed and managed resource towards certain ends, I think is an optimal way to do it. I think it's maybe the best way, and that's really what I'm trying to point out here. And that's why I'm such a fan of Elon. I'm what this company's great, and what he says too is like, with SpaceX, mankind should have something to be excited about, when they wake up in the morning. Becoming a spacefaring civilization is a something people can be excited about, I agree with that. So he's also, about fun, about enjoyment in life. And how you doing? And I'm about that too, So really, I mean, I have to admire Elon and his entrepreneurship, his I really say the way that he directs and manages resource. He's a mastermind of sorts. Like I said, his philosophy came from reading Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, from what I understand. And he's a really methodical thinker. He talks about first principles thinking. It seems like he breaks stuff down to to a fundamental level and works from there. He's talked about a lot of stuff. Like one thing he talks about, like with Neuralink, talking about we have a limited bandwidth with how we talk and to communicate ideas and stuff. And if you just have like a link in your brain, then you just like transmit knowledge. Like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna do that personally, but you can just see like the way he just like breaks it down to like a fundamental thing, talking about bandwidth, limited bandwidth. I think he thinks a lot in terms of like programming and stuff. He's talked about the universe being a simulation. It's like, I see what he's saying. You could think, if you think in terms of programming, yeah, you could kind of see what he's saying here. But so yeah, he's kind of, you could say he might that he's a first principles thinker, maybe, and he says that himself. But I just think he has a good goal. First of all, wherever it came from him, he says it came from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But just making mankind, helping prolong the collective lifespan of mankind by making mankind a multiplanetary species, and also helping the situation here on Earth, be more sustainable. It's like that's perfect. Like, what better goal could you have? You see what I'm saying? And I think that's the perfect model that the rest of the economy should copy. It's the perfect goal, optimal resource management, employed to hopefully, prolong the collective lifespan of mankind, It's just to me, I just look at economics. I study business, I study economics and stuff like that. And I just I want to optimize it naturally. Hello, I gotta say hi to everybody. How you doing? Um, I'll try to be a friendly face around here. If I'm gonna be here, everybody's probably wondering who I am. So let's be friendly, if nothing else. But anyway, yeah, I look at the economy. I study business, stuff like that. I've gotten into that a lot more in the last few years or so. And I see it, and this to me is really like top notch, optimal, resource management, deployment, employment of resource. If I think Elon is one of the best people to give you money to. Like, if he's gonna get your money, he's gonna take that money. He's gonna do something awesome with it. He's gonna help prolong the collective lifespan of mankind. That's his mission. And it's like, that's what better goal could you have? Like, I really think other people should just adopt that fundamental, mission, which ultimately has driven, this endeavor here with SpaceX to become a multiplanetary species. That goes right back to the initial goal of prolonging the collective mankind, or the collective lifespan of mankind. And same thing with Tesla, renewable energy, so we don't freaking heat up our world so much that we can't even live here anymore. Clean energy, so we can create a sustainable situation here. Same thing. They're both about prolonging the collective lifespan of mankind. I think that is like the best goal. I think if everybody aims for optimal deployment of resource, so on and so forth, any other company that aims for that same goal, I feel like will naturally optimize toward, or optimize the same way, toward, prolonging the collective lifespan of mankind. And I mean, it's just such a good goal. And I think really that's been like the North Star that Elon has been aiming for with, his entrepreneurship and resource deployment, management, whatever. And I think if everybody adopts that same goal, then naturally the entire economy will optimize. Like, whatever little thing you're thinking about doing, like capitalism, generally speaking, is for profit. That's the major aim of most companies. But if some people just want money, and so they'll do some random stupid thing to get money. Elon did not just want money. He said, no, here's the goal, prolong the collective lifespan of mankind, so we can eventually, hopefully, figure out what existence is all about, so on and so forth. Help mankind go far into the future. What does he always say? He says something about, like, it has the highest possibility or probability of a positive outcome. You know what I'm saying? That's good thinking. That's some very fundamental, maybe first principles thinking. It's the same thing though. It's just I guess trying to keep a positive horizon out in front of us. As wide as possible, that goes out as far ahead as possible. That is the fundamental thing that optimizes the management style of Elon, which has led to these awesome companies, and the way that he has employed resource toward these cool goals of, like, becoming a multiplanetary species, and then revolutionizing the energy industry and car industry. It's that fundamental desire, goal that he set for himself to, help take mankind as far into the future as possible. That's what he said. That's literally from reading a book, freaking Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We're too immature as a species to understand the questions to ask, so If you ask a supercomputer what the answer to everything is, it's gonna give you some stupid answer because it was a dumb question, too vague, not specific enough. So that's Elon's whole thing, from what I understand, from what I've gathered. He just wants to help mankind prolong its lifespan long enough, I guess, to eventually, um, maybe hopefully figure out what it's all about. And then at that point, if people come up with some better aim for themselves by understanding what their purpose is in this universe, whatever, then I guess, optimize those goals accordingly. You know what I mean? But for right now, it seems like the best idea, prolong the lifespan of mankind. And if every company on earth, um, you know, takes aim at that, you know what I mean? Sets that as a goal. If every entrepreneur starts to think with the same goal in mind, then all of these companies that pop up will be toward that end. And I think naturally the entire economy will be optimized. It'll just optimize itself through each individual actor, aiming toward that goal. I just think it's good. I think it's good leadership on Elon's part, setting that as a goal and then taking the initiative to raise money and start these companies and for these specific goals of, making mankind a multiplanetary species, revolutionizing the car and energy industry. And he's taking steps, like concrete, real steps to about to get yelled at. Concrete, real steps to make that a real thing. Huh? You want a burger? A burger? You want to give me a burger? I'm live streaming right now. I thought you were gonna come yell at me, bro.
I was in the neighborhood. I was just letting this guy go, and I saw you chilling. I was like,
"What is it? Just like you just do this a lot, or is it just like?"
No. Do you stay here?
No, I don't.
Oh.
So you thought I stayed here? No, I'm just chilling. I'm exploring the place.
Oh shit! Sorry, I thought you were an employee.
Is that your job to give people lunch and stuff?
Yeah. I'm
okay.
around.
No, yeah, I was just walking around touring the place, and I figured I'd sit down and.
Oh, for sure. I thought you were one of the employees.
No,
just
okay.
chilling out.
Well, that's your job, though. Okay, I was wondering what that was about.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Cool. Man, they got catering service. I have no idea who stays here. That's optimization. I can't pause this really, so we're kind of in the moment. Thank you, though. Oh, the weather was nice. Damn, bro. I need to work here, bro. Dude just comes around handing people burgers, bro. I need to get in on this gig. I said, never mind, though. He said, oh, man, you don't work here. It's whatever. It's petty little things to me. Anyway, back to what I was saying. If every company, aims for that same North Star of, like that's the best goal I could think of right now for companies to aim for is, or really one thing that can maybe be added to that I've thought of personally. I've thought about optimizing the economy with like automation and stuff like that, because I think it will free up a lot of people's time to. I would have said what's up to that guy, but he's looking like he's trying to avoid me a little bit. But no, yeah, optimizing the economy with like automation and stuff might free up people's time to explore life and ask questions, and I think that can lead to like maybe like a renaissance of sorts where people maybe aren't stuck working some just with the what do you want to call it, the burden of maintaining their situation. I don't know what all that's about. These guys seem chill, but anyway, but yeah, optimizing the economy might lead to a situation where, like maybe the creative potential of mankind is unleashed, because people won't be, burdened with the trivialities of trying to just survive or whatever, and I've thought about that before. So like, when we talk about, you know, um, prolonging the lifespan of mankind, and that seems to be what Elon has set as a goal. You can also probably add to that just, the more easy we make life, maybe, I don't know, there could be some unintended consequence, side effects of that. Some people when they have nothing better to do, what's that saying? An idle mind is the devil's workshop. They might just get bored and start arguing for no reason. Who knows? But I think a lot of people, I mean, if you just optimize the economy and really make opportunity more available for people, stuff like that. I mean, that's like been like a major goal of mine. It's just what I've been thinking for a long time is the optimization of the economy. I've seen inefficiencies in it. Like I said, I've been studying for a while, but making opportunities available, freeing up people from, unnecessary labor that robots or machines, whatever it could be doing, automated machines could be doing, then that could be the creative potential of people. And maybe they will ask the questions that will lead to certain answers, like Elon's talking about. Ask the questions that is this guy's gonna bitch at me? How you doing? Huh?
How you doing?
Good.
This is SpaceX property.
Can't sit here.
No.
Can I walk on the street right here?
Be in the street, yes.
Okay. Did somebody call you?
We saw you in the cameras.
Oh, okay. Okay. Right on, bro. I'll be